In Hawaii, APEC isn't just inspiring trade breakthroughs, it's also inspired this teddy bear dedication to the leaders. And Julia Gillard is among the teddy bear delegation. The teddy bear store manager hopes she's happy with the results.
Well, we want to represent the APEC 2011 delegates, and we want to show the public that they can take a picture and visit the delegates because it's really hard to meet them in person. He's offered to send Julia Gillard the bear if she wants it. And Julia Gillard is now on her way back home. She's declared this meeting a success. Few, if any, world leaders can do it like an American president. If any world leaders can do it like an American president. High voltage political set pieces like this win elections in America.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Overseas, they're designed to win sympathy for the American cause.
Some real Aussies, and no better place to do it than here in Darwin. Some real Aussies, and no better place to do it than here in Darwin. Some real Aussies, and no better place to do it than here in Darwin. Some real Aussies, and no better place to do it than here in Darwin. Wanted to get out and about and meet some real Aussies, and no better place to do it than here in Darwin, here in the Northern Territory.
Honourable members, honourable senators, the President of the United States of America.
Earlier, the audience was different, the message for Australia and the region consistent.
Generations of Americans have served here and died here, so democracies could take root. Americans have bled with you for this progress, and we will not allow it, we will never allow it to be reversed. Generations of Americans have served here and died here, so democracies could take root. Americans have bled with you for this progress, and we will not allow it, we will never allow it to be reversed.
8 years ago, Parliament was told much the same by a different president, talking about a different part of the world.
Who can possibly think? Surely not anyone who cares about human rights and democracy. Surely not anyone who cares about human rights and democracy. Surely not anyone who cares about human rights and democracy.
President Obama's looking past the war on terror, straight into Australia's backyard.
The tide of war is receding, and America is looking ahead to the future that we must build. Reductions in U.S. defense spending will not, I repeat, will not come at the expense of the Asia-Pacific.
President Obama referred to China a couple of times by name, many more times by implication.
We need growth that is fair, where every nation plays by the rules. A student posts a blog, a citizen signs a charter, an activist remains unbowed, imprisoned in his home, just to have the same rights that we cherish here today. And prosperity without freedom is just another form of poverty.
And the President implied Australia's got more to gain from its relationship with America than it does with China.
And we recognize that economic partnerships can't just be about one nation extracting another's resources. We understand that no long-term strategy for growth can be imposed from above.
And Tony Abbott picked up on that theme, giving the President a crash course in local politics.
Australia's danger is complacency, the feeling that the world has no choice but to buy our minerals so new taxes can painlessly fix our fiscal problems.
The opposition leader showed a knack for bringing the geopolitical back to the local.
On selling uranium to India, President Obama had the good sense never to change President Bush's policy. In this country, on this policy, the transition from the former government to the current one has been, how shall I say, Mr. Speaker, less seamless.
Kevin Rudd was the one who changed John Howard's policy on uranium sales. He wasn't consulted about Julia Gillard's change of heart this week.
She's taking this to the National Conference as her own personal initiative. Under those circumstances, it would be unrealistic to be consulted on every matter.
The announcement of closer defence ties between Australia and the US has been greeted with caution in the region. The Philippines has also strengthened defence ties with its former colonial master.
Barack Obama told the Australian Parliament the United States is shifting its focus east.
Our enduring interests in the region demand our enduring presence in the region. The United States is a Pacific power, and we are here to stay.
And that's causing concern in China, which sees the announcement as a direct response to its growing influence in the region. An opinion piece in the Chinese government's English language newspaper, The People's Daily, points out the difficult position in which it places Australia, caught between its military alliance with the United States and its economic relationship with China.
We believe that there should be real actions to further strengthen cooperation with the two sides. As for using the form of a military alliance, China has its own concepts of friendly cooperation with all countries. We believe outside interference, or interference from non-relevant countries, does not help solve the issue, but makes it more complicated and difficult to resolve.
While China says it values diplomacy above confrontation in dealing with regional issues, its diplomatic efforts might need more work, according to China analyst and former Defence Intelligence staffer Paul Monk.
China is going to have to acknowledge that its neighbours don't want to see it push and shove. And so if it wishes to expand its sense of security and primacy, it's going to have to do it by wooing and winning over its neighbours rather than intimidating them.
Australia's nearest neighbour expressed concern about the possibility of a tit-for-tat arms build-up in the region.
What I would hate to see is that if such developments were to provoke a reaction and counter-reaction, precisely to create that reverse or a vicious circle of tensions and mistrust or distrust.
The Indonesian foreign minister also urged all parties to be clear about their intentions.
It's very important when a decision of this type is taken, there is transparency of what the scenario being envisaged is or are, and that there is no misunderstanding as a result.
The United States says it wants China to play by international rules. But Paul Monk believes Beijing will look at how the United States has interpreted those rules in the past.
It's intervened in various countries, it has backed dictators, and they might well be saying in Beijing, if that's good enough for you, why is it not good enough for us?
No doubt the US and Australia will clarify their positions when they meet the Chinese leadership in Bali this weekend. Hamish Fitzsimmons, Late Line.